GreenKeeper pre-beta checks Flyover benchmarking.
So the final part of a pre-beta check, and arguably, well, not the most important because you have to do all other stuff correctly as well, is performance. And go to the tools menu, and we've got our Flyover benchmark. At this point, you can also check your driving range if you've added one that you've not set it to a silly yardage or whatever, and adjust that. But predominantly at this point, you're going to be doing the Flyover benchmark. Now, I won't record this doing the benchmark because the overhead of recording will affect the results, and I don't want it to do that in terms of the results I get on this first run through. Once I've run it, I'll then fly over the areas with I use Windows Game Bar, but there's lots of alternatives. You've got like Reaver Tuner or Afterburner or whatever. I'll use Windows Game Bar and show the FPS in the areas, but the FPS won't be correct because obviously I've got an extra load. But we'll discuss about what's happening and how we can use the benchmark to pick out areas where it's not performing correctly, and then what we could possibly sort of take from that as the problem. So yeah, I'll run the benchmark and then I'll be back once it's run. You'll notice when you click to start the benchmark, to perform an accurate and useful Flyover benchmark, please ensure GreenKeeper is set to 1920 by 1080 Ultra or 3840 2160 4K Ultra. If you can't either these modes, you can choose Start and begin the test. Else you must choose Cancel, exit GreenKeeper, make sure you're saving the change that you've made previously on your pre-beta checks, and restart GreenKeeper so you're in 1080p or 4K Ultra. Probably full screen, but you don't have to be, and then you can run it. So I am in 1080p Ultra. If I wasn't, like I say, you'd cancel, make sure you click save, otherwise you don't want to lose all your other stuff that you've fixed already as part of your pre-beta check. And you see I've run this previously, that's why I've got this tick. You probably wouldn't have a tick here unless you've already run it, but I'd still run it again anyway. Exit out, restart, come in at 1080p or 4K, depending on your card, and then you click start and then start. So that's the benchmark run through now. I didn't adjust the speed, don't do that, just click start and just let it run through, and it'll come up with obviously the hole by hole and the whole course score, and you basically will now look at this and say, is this good enough, and is there areas that we need to look at? I would say for a really well optimized course, you'd be looking for the score in the high 80s and low 90s. Yeah, and your worst hole score, it varies because you'd have to watch it and see exactly why you had a bad area on a hole. It could be a VS preloading thing, it could be the camera on the Flyover dipped below the terrain, it dropped it low. So that can affect your whole course score and the worst hole score, so you have to be a bit aware of that. But yeah, definitely these should be a lot higher than they are. The target FPS, and it's all based on your GPU you've got and stuff, they're generally pretty good, give or take a bit. If these were all looks like 5649, 5748, I'd say have a look at the areas. It's probably okay, but when we're dropping into the 40s a lot, we're getting some 30 lows, a 30 average or 37 average. There's areas of the course here where definitely there's performance being left behind, and settings that possibly may be wrong. And yeah, this course needs a little bit more optimization before it should be released, really. So yeah, so the next part will be to go through this. It'll be slightly contrived in, I'm going to be recording it, so that will affect the FPS values, but we'll be able to find the areas and try and work out exactly what it's doing, like I say, using Windows Game Bar or whatever to see if it's GPU, CPU, what's going on, and things like that. But yeah, it's important you do this. It's essential you set it to 1080p Ultra or 4K Ultra. Don't run it on light or anything like that, because it won't be a fair compared to the target FPS, it's all designed around being at that resolution, these target FPSs of your card. So yeah, I'll start it again and we'll go through it and see. I might not even use the benchmark tool. In fact, I shall probably just use the overlay and we'll just fly around with VS Pro on. It's effectively the same thing. So yeah, some work to be done.